Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in today's live stream, we're going to do some wire wrapping, but we also have some mail opening. We're going to begin a fresh giveaway for this week and just a bunch of stuff. So let me get a few things situated. Sorry, I just got a notification on the screen from YouTube being like, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Hey Taylor, we had a really fun weekend. Mid-South Con it's our 10th year there, so it's like a family reunion, but of like you like everybody. If that makes sense. That and you don't really have to worry about hooking up people who are related to you. At least for the most part. And so yeah, it was really good. We got to see a lot of really cool costumes. We actually had a pretty decent vending experience. It just Memphis is always slow for us on a Friday, like really slow for us on Fridays. So that starts off the whole weekend kind of on edge, but socially it was like the best convention ever. So that was fantastic. We didn't compete or anything. Just vending and hanging out, and I think that was great. The feller who did win Best in Show, though, I shouted out to him over on my Instagram. He did a really good job. And I had hung out with him a bit at MCFC back in November, and he was already pretty impressive with his costuming. But man, at the rate that he's improving, I'm like, I better up my game.
That was Hector, wasn't it?
uh, yeah,
Castlevania.
he did Hector from Castlevania and Aragorn from
Yeah.
the like Coronation Aragorn. I'm having his name's Jacob, but I'm having a really hard time remembering his screen name on Instagram. But
I think back in MCFC he did a Spartan.
yeah, he was a Spartan, but it was pretty good. He had done it like out of foam and stuff. So I am going to ask for you guys to, if you have any questions, to go ahead and do at and then Yvonne Williams with a capital Y and a capital W with the space, just like how my screen name shows up. And that's going to help Randy, who's moderating in the background, to take note of your comments and questions. That way I can do a little bit better at keeping up with those. Hey Maria, hey Teresa, hey Jody, hey Jennifer, hey Dury. It's hey Erin, just hey everybody. We did have a really good weekend, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm really glad to be home. We had a ton of fun, but after being on the road for 2 weekends in a row, I am ready. My body is ready to sleep in. um hey Penny. Yep, just like that. Missed you. It's been like a whole week. I know, but we made it there. We survived. Everything was great on Thursday, but I don't think we would have been able to really do much for live streaming. Oh no, Zaga said your live streams have become such a part of my week that I feel lost without them. Y'all, just wanted to update you. This one Thunder Leatherworks for our first con this weekend. Ah, oh, congratulations! That's just the best. I do think Randy's feeling much better, Penny.
Yeah, I keep sneezing.
Yeah, he keeps sneezing. We're having allergies, but I swept for the first time. I'm gonna confess, no judgment, guys, but I swept for the first time in 2 weeks, and it was like beating out an old rug. It's just nasty up in this house. Hey Tracy. Beverly says, I'm so glad to catch the live stream, but can't stay the whole session at moms and dads. Well, say hey to your mom and dad and watch us on the replay. So, no, fortunately, knock on wood, no concrete. Though I did burn the heck. I can't see it, but out of the top of like the roof of my mouth on an egg roll yesterday. So I've got like this giant blister on the top. It just like the hot oil just and so yeah, that's the only thing wrong with me so far. So hopefully no concrete. Hey William. Yeah, right, Penny? Okay. Hey Patricia. Oh, also another update before we get into the groove of things. We are going to be doing some wire wrapping today. These ones, Teresa, I did actually make out of polymer clay. These were from my Phage tutorial, my faux gauge. And you just put like an earring post and it's back in the clay. Now, if I could get to where I could cast these out of resin, I think they would be even lighter. Or maybe use like the souffle or something. The wings turned out really well. Yeah, we went to a sushi place and they have these like spring rolls. Super yummy. Oh, blue. Right on, Alan. We do have more leather work coming. We've got, I'm back to work on tutorials this week. So, but yeah, the update. Patreon is, we will be shipping out our Patreon packages late this week. For traditionally, Randy and I have tried to send out all of our Patreon packages within the first week and a half of the month. Just to avoid a lot of the problems that we were having in February that have actually kind of been rising their head a little bit again this month. We're just sending them out at the end of the month, and I feel really bad for y'all, especially the folks who didn't get a package in February because of that big just fiasco. Your packages will be coming. I do recommend signing up for the USPS like informed delivery program that they have. Like, you basically just put in your info and they'll notify you of every time anybody ships you something through USPS that has a tracking number, and that way, for at least the continental US, y'all can be informed immediately without having to hound me or wait for me to get back to you, or anything like that. So that being said, coffee. Hey, Nina. I like that. Hey, JS. I'm going to try doing them. Where did you say you did a tutorial on them? Teresa, if you search through my polymer clay or crafting tutorial playlists here on YouTube, or just search like Yvonne Williams FAGE earrings or something, like, I don't know. Did I seriously? It jumped up out of the cup to spill on me? Cheers, everybody. Here's to a nice, happy crafting. What's up, baby? Oh. Boop, boop. Okay. Oh, I've been missing a lot of questions. Randy's been sending me stuff. Okay. What is the difference in fan folding, clay skinner, or log rolling? So Catherine had asked the question, what's the difference between fan folding a Skinner blend and log rolling a Skinner blend? And for those of y'all, it's over in the other area. When you log roll it, it'll go from dark to light or light to dark. Gradient happens radially. Like, it'll look like a bullseye kind of thing. Whenever you fan fold a Skinner blend, it goes from light to dark or dark to light. Like, the gradient goes linearly over yonder, like that way. So that's the difference in between those two effects. And you can get some really cool effects by combining the two. Daniel, we just did, I'll repeat it again though. The update for Patreon is we're shipping out packages later this week. I know in the past that Randy and I have sent out on both of our channels and Patreons our crates and packages in the beginning of the month, but it's going to be an end of the month thing from now on. And we're just going to try our best to keep you guys up to date, and we really appreciate y'all's patience, because I don't know about y'all, but whenever I pay for something and expect a service, I expect it to be rendered, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm just taking your money and hiding in a hole in the ground. Though I do have a hole in the ground out in the backyard. We'll talk more about it later. Okay, next question. Shannon says, I know the allergies issues. The trees over here releasing their sperm and I'm dying. Oh God, Shannon. Yeah. What's the joke? If you got to procreate once a year, you'd cover a city block too. Okay, we did Dragonize, but you say to use Mod Podge, but you don't say how to apply it. Do you use a brush? I typically, on the back of my Dragonize, just use the tip of the Mod Podge applicator to just like do it, and then its surface tension will just kind of sit on there. So, maybe that'll work. Sorry, we got a new tablet because Samsung or the T-Mobile was having a promotion that we technically didn't have to pay anything except for like part of our souls.
We just have to maintain our.
Yeah, we just have to maintain our plan. I hate financing stuff, but it didn't reek of financing, but we've needed a tablet anyways. Have you ever made a Natasha bead with polymer clay or a kaleidoscope cane? I'm not sure what a Natasha bead is, but I do enjoy making kaleidoscope canes. I actually have a little bit of one over here that I wanted to be like very Zentangly themed. Boop. It is just like a little dish that whenever I'm like using little beads, I'll put the little beads in it. but I'm not very good at getting, or at the time, this was like 6 years ago, I wasn't very good at getting crisp canes. And I think it's because I was using just Sculpey 3, whereas using like Kato, Primo Sculpey, or Fimo, like a harder clay, you'll be able to get a much crisper line. Ooh, right on. I'll be sure to check that out, Catherine. Okay, I know you love PIM too, but what will you use now that it is not available? I don't know, Holly. I'm lost. I am lost in this world without PIM. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Nope. I don't know. So I was like, oh, maybe this is an alternative. Nope. I don't know. I guess maybe you know what I might be able to do, though it'll probably clog the heck out of my airbrush, is take PIM is PYM2. It's Preserve Your Memories. It's an aerosol sealer that is safe to use with polymer clay. It won't make it like sticky and gross. But I might turn to using like the water-based Sculpey glazes or anything like that just in an airbrush, because that's what I like about the PIM is it just sprays on so it doesn't leave like brush strokes and you can kind of get in everywhere. So I may just, yeah, we might do that. How do you take fingerprints off resin? I don't know. Do you mean like, did you touch it before it was completely cured and now it has a fingerprint on it? Because most of the time, like if it's done, I'll just like, and like buff it up. Yeah, we are opening mail today. I'm gonna keep answering a couple of questions. Yeah, Aaron, PIM went out of production and nobody's like bought the company. Honest to goodness, if I knew anything about running companies, I would totally like buy them out. Like if I had just a ton of money in the knowledge, if I were a different person with more time and better management, I would totally um try to get PIM going again because that's an amazing product. I think you need to pop two sides of cane together, colors matching. At least I think so. Okay. That's a pretty good idea, Christy. Boop, burp. Oh, Diana asks, what is your favorite craft to do? All of them. I don't have a favorite. Hey, little man. My little dirty dog. Do you want to see the Z-Dog? Look at that Papa McMuffin. Oh, you're a good boy, oh. Yes, you are. Oh, yeah, little poop tart. Alright, get out of here. We'll hang out later, okay? Yeah, you can sand and buff resin. I'm pretty sure you're like 25% of what I'm allergic to, Z-Dog. I'm just saying, not to be pointing fingers or anything. But yeah, it's for as far as my favorite crafts go, I prefer falling in love with a new medium. Like that's my favorite, is just learning something new every time. But often I'll wire wrap until my hands hurt, and then I'll chain mail, and then I'll do polymer clay or leather working, and I'll just keep bouncing from one thing to another, and that way I don't get sick of any one particular crafty thing. Okay, Edna asks, hello, Avon. Hello, Edna. Love your show. You're the only one I can understand because you use and show an easy way I can understand because I'm slow. I want to know more of your clay and resin class. Enjoy your day. Right on. And I honestly, like, my heart's always with the beginner, and I would always rather have something spelled out in meticulous, like, super overly detailed to me, as opposed to someone just, like, gloss over it and expect me to just know what's going on. Because I'm like, I didn't even know it was a thing. Okay. Do you know what a rainbow rose is, or even how to make one? My sister wants one. I'm not familiar with that, Amused. Amber says, what is the length of the tulle strips you cut for your skirts? About, like, the longest ones that I do, Amber, are 36 inches, and that's usually for in the back, and then in the front I'll usually have it be at like 24 to 26 inches. And that's why to get like the high-low effect a little bit. Life Prepper, how many shows do you do a year? Used to, Randy and I did around 30 shows or different events a year, whether it was like arts and crafts fairs or conventions or just what have you. But this year we're only doing 6 so far, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that, just to get to be home a little bit, like my spinach is sprouting out in the garden, and we had to give away like 50 eggs because the chickens are just popping them out like 2 at a time, it seems. Leslie asks, how long have you been working with copper wire? About 10 years, though honestly a lot of it has been enameled copper from Parawire, and I just recently started messing about with bare copper wire, but it behaves very similarly. Ooh. How was the con this past? Oh, I missed one. Okay. KS says, I really enjoy all you teach. You're so easy to understand and so very patient. Aw. Well, thank you for sharing with us your knowledge. I appreciate it. Cute doggy also. Well, I'm really glad that you like what I'm doing, because sometimes I'm not a patient person and it's just like, but I want to be. And so y'all help me to try to be the best version of myself who's not just like growling at people mostly. Okay. How was the con this past weekend? It was very good. Catherine says, great person to learn a kaleidoscope came from is, okay, Finnan. Right on. What is my favorite cartoon character? That's really difficult. Like, I don't know. We'll have to come back to that one. Ooh, hey Randy.
Yo.
Do you know who my favorite cartoon character is?
Tamama.
Probably Tamama from Sergeant Frog. I always enjoy Tamama. But I don't know. I'm not good at picking favorites. I'm like, all of them. What is, okay. Have you ever done resin on glass? I have, but I don't know if I was doing it correctly because the resin too easily would delaminate from the glass. I think maybe the glass would have needed sanded or something just to make it stick a little better. Boop, boop, boop. Quite possibly. About the fingerprints on resin, if it's not just rubbing off, you're probably going to need to sand it. Though also check with, like, if you can press it like with your fingernail and it leaves an indent, it's probably not cured correctly. Like, I know I've done lots where like the temperature wasn't right or the mixture wasn't thoroughly mixed enough, or just one of the infinite things that seems like it can go wrong whenever casting resin. But typically cured resin should not be taking indentations, at least not that easily. This is actually just giveaway time. Not today, but I'm announcing this is the piece that we'll be giving away on Thursday. So I'll announce it again at the end of the live stream. But if you're interested in winning this steampunk cabochon that's very, very flashy, leave a comment on this video here on YouTube after the live stream is over. So sorry, I guess today's just straight Q&A. But it's really helpful that Randy's able to just send me the comments. Aaron asks, in your experience, how durable is resin? Could it be used to join two objects together with a filler of resin between? It depends. If it's a piece of jewelry or something decorative, yeah, I would totally do that. If it's like load bearing or is going to be having a lot of tension on it, like a connector on a belt or like something, I don't know. Like, I haven't really tested that. Do what, love?
I wouldn't.
Randy says he wouldn't. And he's usually a lot more like solid about stuff than I am, but I bought a marquee cut labradorite and I can't find a wire wrapping tutorial I like. Can you do one? Yeah, and Tanya, I really think I had one come out here recently, but I don't have any examples of it directly on hand. Let me see. I personally think this wrapping style would work out really well for a marquee cut. And this is just like the very core basic, like the bones of it. You can make it as ornate or as simplistic as what you would like. So that's something that's really nice about that design as well. Speaking of which, that one's up for sale on our Etsy. Yay, go buy stuff, please. No. Natasha says, took your advice and sent Joanne a message. Bulk wire for days in all gauges. Yes. And that's what I really like about Parawire is they have the professionalism of a big corporate company, but they're approachable like an Etsy seller. If that makes sense. Okay. Ooh, Randy, I'm trying to catch up on messages.
I know.
Okay. Spirit says you have to be patient in order to make such beautiful pieces. It comes and goes in waves. The patience does. Sonora asks, how do you stay focused on your projects? Uh, Typically, I lack discipline. Fortunately, in crafting is one of the areas that I've forced myself to become disciplined in that if I get too many like unfinished projects sitting around, doesn't matter how inspired I am for something else. It's like that's the work part of being a professional crafter is get it done. Um, and it also helps that I'm super obsessed. So whenever I start a project, I'll often just binge through it until until it's done. Um, Often at the expense of eating and hygiene and social interaction with Randy and stuff. So, um, okay. Susan asks, what do you do when you're wire wrapping and the wire is getting loose when you're working with it? A lot of it depends. If it's something where I'm doing like weaving, um, oof, a lot of smushing. Actually, I know that that probably doesn't help, but I just smush the heck out of it with some like nylon gel pliers or just start doing it tighter. Oftentimes too, I'll go ahead and unweave what I've woven and just redo it if I'm really unhappy with it. And then also sometimes if it's like I can just go and cinch something down in my plier tips, I'll do that too. Okay. Do you experience eye strain? And if so, how do you deal with it? I find I get involved in close up work and then get a migraine. Lily, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I function with like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being blackout pain and 1 being like, I feel pretty good. I'm around like a 4 for headaches constantly. The bright lights, the close up work, the typically just any kinds of like loud noises of whether it's traffic or music or just anything like I have a headache all of the time. I have found that like stretching, getting a different chair has really helped. Dimming down the lights a little bit, taking breaks like every 10 to 15 minutes. Even if it's just setting the project down and closing my eyes and giving myself a little bit of a face massage because I'm finding it's not so much about my eyeballs as much as it is about my muscles tensing up and just causing everything. So, like, if you have to set yourself a timer and take like a second or two to just, and then keep going because it seems counterintuitive to take a bunch of little breaks, but you'll be able to go for so much longer, I think. Um, ooh. Natasha asks, was looking at ACT insurance for shows. Do most shows require insurance? The ACT company looks as if the one-time fee covers you all year. I hate to say something and get in trouble or get jinxed, but it's in 10 years we've never had to get vendor insurance. It's typically for folks who sell like swords or maybe like blown glass, like something where, you know, if there's a lawsuit someone can like sue you or something, but it's like I've just never bothered with it. And there have been very few shows that have insisted upon it and I'm like, I'll just do a different show. You know, there's so many shows to choose from that if they're requiring like I almost feel like, and this could just be me tinfoil hat mode, but it feels like the people who put on conventions are like, well, you have to get or not conventions, but just events in general are like, well, you have to get this insurance. But probably the ones who have the insurance places, and I'm like, you're just fleecing us. Um, but that is my very uneducated, ignorant, biased perspective. But I guess Natasha, the right answer is I'm not the right person to ask about whether or not you ought to get insurance for in your booth. How do you seal your wire wrapped pieces? Whenever it needs sealed, I use Renaissance wax. It's a microcrystalline wax and a little goes a long way. Then I just buff it in with like a bit of cotton, like just quilting cotton. Can you show us? Oh wait, still catching up on messages. I put Mod Podge dimensional on clay, and of course I left a fingerprint on it. Can it be taken off? I think you can sand it down. Also, sometimes you might be able to delaminate it and kind of peel the Mod Podge off. Or also just kind of layering a little bit more Mod Podge over it might do the trick also. Sabrina asks if I can show how to wire wrap one of my oval calves. Yes. Can Kimmy Sue says, would love to see how to wire wrap a heart-shaped cab. Think you could do one and recommend something that works. Yeah, that'd be great. Do you have any Dreamcatcher tutorials? Goth Girls, I do not, but there are a lot of really good ones done here on YouTube, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Do you ever wrap polymer clay cabs, and if so, what are your thoughts on using polymer clay? Marla, I do a lot. I do a lot of wire wrapping with polymer clay cabs, usually domed with resin to keep anything from rubbing off. But I will go ahead and like be a little bit more gentle with it because it will scratch, like resin, clay, even glass not so much, but you just have to be careful. I treat it like as if I were wrapping turquoise. It's just a softer stone. You got to be a little bit more gentle with it. Victoria asks, have you tried chiropractic? My daughter used to have headaches all day every day. She was cured and hasn't had one in 7 years. I haven't. Gonna be 100% honest with you guys. On my priority of things to spend money on, and I know it shouldn't be this way, but healthcare and stuff, like, it is pretty low on the list. I'm working on that, like mentally, like getting myself into the, no, I should go to the dentist, I should go and get like, checkups and stuff, but I'm like, I gotta get out of debt like as soon as possible. Like I gotta get my bills paid, and like I'm still a little bit more in survival mode than probably what is a good idea for someone my age, but I will keep that in mind. Mandy says, try one of those strappy things that helps correct your posture. Then we'll be hunching over and slouchy, putting strain on the neck and spine. That's a really good idea, Mandy. Nina asks, what if the venue burns down? Then that's actually something different from, like, you'd want to get that through the same place that you get, like, house and car insurance would be business insurance, because they would be equipped to be able to actually reimburse you for losing your entire business through a venue burning down. So, and PIM, it's preserve your memories. It's PYM, and then 2. It's a spray sealer that's safe for use on polymer clay as well as other things. No such thing, Anika's stupid question of the day, but what is steampunk exactly? I learned about it from you and I love it. I'm hooked. Okay, in a complete, to dumb it down to the basic of things, it's an aesthetic of like brown and brass, and like there's gears on everything. Depending on who you ask, you'll get more stuff about like the alt history, like, what if we had done more historically with like steam engines and stuff as opposed to electricity, and just, a lot of folks, there's some mixing with like H.G. Wells. It's like Victorian aesthetic as well, but there are some people who are very specifically Edwardian steampunk. For me, it's brown and brass and gears. Basically, like it's goth if you make it neutral tones and brass instead of black and silver. Which I probably just insulted all of my steampunk friends, but in my very layperson terms. Hey Sam, do what, love?
And goth.
And goth. Yeah, probably insulted all of my goth friends too. Sorry. Do you do any macrame wire wrapping? I do not, but I want to. I've been invited to show a jewelry store my pendants. Any advice? Fake it till you make it. If it's your first time consigning to anywhere or anything, don't feel like don't you dare apologize for your work or for your pricing. Like, go in there like Devil Wears Prada style of confidence, and just like be put on the persona of a competent business person who knows how to do things, and that will keep you from, if somebody's even slightly inclined to push you around or take advantage of you, it discourages that. But also be polite, be kind, be open-minded to, working with them, but just kind of going in with that confidence will help them to be more confident in working with you, as well as they'll take you a little bit more seriously. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'll put on like grown-up clothes whenever I go in somewhere, because people can have a tendency to not take me very seriously when I'm wearing leggings, a frumpy sweater, and like yarn in my hair, but that's okay. Okay. I get the mica powders for polymer clay from like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Art and Glow has some really great ones, and a lot of them on Amazon. Just the Pearl X pigments on Amazon. Okay. Boop and boop. I'm going to take a break from answering questions for just a second to do some mail opening. That was intense. Like, I feel like that was a solid 30 minutes of answering questions. How'd I do, Boogie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says. Yay. Samantha says, what are you creating today? I was going to try to get some wire wrapping done, but y'all are just chock full of questions, so I figured, well, we're going to knock some questions out first. Hey, Jim. That's so good. That's actually the caramel coffee that y'all sent me. Okay, how do I open this? With scissors, of course. Ooh. Oh my, look at this. Ooh. Oh, it's pretty. Okay, there's a note. I'm going to read the note.
Is that the box I own?
Can read out loud. Dear Yvonne, as your tutorials have helped me so much with my shop. The pricing guide helped so much. My sales have tripled. Right on. Oh, that's fantastic. I wanted to share 2 of my handmade hair ties with you. Hope you enjoy them. Kimmy Sue. Oh! Huh?
Hand me that.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. What that?
Don't worry about it.
Ooh. Is that? What is this? And it looks like, oh, and there's a little business card in there as well, if y'all can see. So be sure to check out Kimmy Sue. And I'm going to stick this in my hair. Oh, it's a rose. Oh, that's so flamenco-y. How do I get this open? Oh, there it goes. Ooh. Wow. I love this rose, though. Oh, that's so cute. Actually, I'm going Nutter Butters for this one right here. Oh, that's cool. Boop. Straight up. Well, thank you so much, Kimmy. But check out that rose, you guys. That's so, like, flamenco-y. Oh, Kimmy, thank you. CSL is awesome. Looking to open my first booth sometime next year if all goes well. Any tips? Oops. The best tip that I can give anyone, and I've said it before, but it's worth saying again, whenever doing your first event, is to do a dry run of your booth setup, like maybe a month or 2 even before your first event. That way it gives you time to, if you need more of a certain product to make that area look full, you have time to make it, or you have time to be like, this display is not going to work out, and you can, you don't want to do it the night before because then you don't really have time to fix anything. But do a dry setup of your booth. If you have a friend, have them pretend to like be a customer or something and see if you can reach across and make sure that you're not going to be like knocking stuff over. It's a good idea because then whenever you get there to the first time vending, there's one less thing that you're like, crap, this is my first time doing this. You'll have that done. It's going to give you so much more confidence and take so much stress off of your mind. That you'll be able to focus on all of the other hurdles and obstacles that will raise their heads as you kind of go about things. Have you ever wire wrapped a geode? I have, and I love it, Sabrina. They're so much fun to wrap because there's not a rock I've ever met that I haven't just fallen in love with. They're all just so fun. Okay, and now we have this one. Randy had started to open it and then he realized that it wasn't to him. So I have no idea what's in here though. So I'm going to open it the rest of the way, and this is the last package for today, so then we'll be able to get to crafting. Ooh, what are these? There's one little box and there's 2 little boxes in the big box. And there's just, I mean, even after sweeping, there are just chunks of fur. Thank you, cats. And Salmon Sea. Okay. There wasn't a note either. So I'm not entirely certain what's up. What? Oh! It's an anti-static adjustable temperature soldering iron with an instruction manual. Ooh. Oh, wow. It's got different tips. How do I... Ooh. What's in there? Oh, and it's got a stand. Who sent me this? Hey, Derpy. Oh, no. And Cyrus says, my basement flooded when it got warm and melted all our crazy snow. My Craftroom does not exist at the moment. Oh, gosh. Oof, that's just the worst. I hope everything goes, like... I hope everything's alright. How in the heck is... Uh-oh. Well, that worked. Okay. Ooh, it's a thingy. Oh, this is fantastic. Ooh. Oh, really? Well, thank you so much, Jazz. This is perfect. Straight up, though, it's got... Oh, and it's got tweezers and all these different tips. I'm definitely going to have to... it's got a flat tip, too. I think that'll come in really handy. Ooh, soldering tip cleaner in a little jar. So you take the jar out. How does that work? Ooh. Oh, it's like a scrunchy little thing. Very cool. I guess this goes on. How does that go on? I'll read the instructions and figure it out. Oh, that is just neat, though. Oof. That's really going to come in handy for a lot of stuff. Now, what's this here? Oh! How to airbrush, instructional airbrush guidebook. Can't get in. There we go. It's a cleaner for the airbrush. Oh, that's going to be fantastic because I keep fogging up the... It's got a little filter in the top here. So now I just won't be riddled with chemicals as bad. Oh, and sorry, my heart's with you. I had a friend in northern Alabama that happened to, and it's just like now, even years later, it's still just because all the water damage on the lower walls and everything. Like flooding is horrible. Like there's a reason it's called a natural disaster. Oh, these will come in so handy. They're just little pipe cleaners. And what's this? Oh, and a little sharp needle thingy. Right on. Thank you so much, Ellis. In there. Okay, and on to wire wrapping. Something that became very evident to us at Mid-South-Con, because that's our first time vending since November, is we seriously need some new ring inventory, like finger rings. So we are going to go ahead and get started up on that. Ooh, okay, getting caught up on messages now. Yoshi says, would you consider wire wrapping obsidian? I have an obsidian arrowhead and I want to know if you could make a tutorial on that. Yeah, for sure. Obsidian's gorgeous. How long have you been crafting? Alyssa, I started crafting professionally back in 2008, but I've been putting a little pause into things like for as long as I can remember. I've always loved like making my own like Barbie clothes and like cardboard houses for my Barbies and stuff. Like I like making things. Abigail says, news. Last Tuesday they couldn't get a subcut access. Friday they couldn't get IVs in. Spent 24 hours without fluid. Ended up with an emergency. Oh gosh. Oh, Abby. Beverly says, did you start daily lightsaber over? Oh, Beverly, I have no idea what you said. But yeah, we've got daylight savings went in, so I have no idea what time it is, like, for future Australia. Alyssa says, how old are you? I'm currently 30. I'll be 31 this year. So I'm pretty excited about that. Like, as far as being 30 goes, it's not nearly so bad as what people let on. Hey, Mary. Okay, so now let me get this stuff tidied away. Let me get that closed up. Beep boop. So we're gonna be making some finger rings today. Ah, it's 3:58 a.m. in Australia. Y'all go back to bed. Yeah, youngin' for sure. You know, and I feel that way until I hang out with my friends that are like in their very early 20s. And I'm like, I'm pretty much an adult. Like, I'm a grown up. Right on, Angela.
What in the world was that?
I have no idea. I think Callie actually has been jumping on the roof from the tree and just comes inside through, she knocked out the panel in my temple room window. So she just comes and goes as she pleases. Also, she's been escaping through the bathtub.
Fun.
Yeah. I love that cat, but she's stressing me out. Ooh, right on. Let's bust out some finger rings. Cause, well, now that I've got that soldering iron, right, Jim? Yeah, Aaron says escaping through the bathtub. Long story short, our house is garbage and we love it. We like living here, but we really need to fix the tub. And they're just out, like, I'm surprised possums don't get into the house because we've got one living under the house and it doesn't. Yeah, well, the tunnel got, it might have just been by the rain getting cleaned out, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, yeah, so, yeah. Well, we're not going to go too much into it today. But we've got like holes in our floor and stuff. It's just, it's a very, very, very old house. And, well, we can't really put any finances towards fixing it up until we get out of debt. Like it's not top priority right now. So Onia says, can you put me down for not receiving my kit? First off, Onia, that's very generous of you. Wait, you mean you haven't received it, not that you want to not receive one? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Either way, it's very generous. But yeah, if you could send us a message on Patreon, and that way we'll be able to get everything sorted out over there.
Also, no one has received their kit this month.
Yes, also, no one has received their March kit yet. Those are shipping out later in the month, like later this week, actually, to try to avoid some of the fiascos we were having with folks in February. Okay. So, Randy, do you remember what styles we had a lot of? Or were there just none that we had a lot of?
We have a lot of spiral nest rings.
Okay. So anything but spiral nest rings? So I'm going to start off by... It's all right, Anya. Okay, so here's a very dirty little tray insert. And I'm going to start picking out... I'm just going to grab a bead tray and start picking out some beads. I think I'm going to do... Hey, Randy. Should I do 6 or 8 millimeter beads?
8.
Okay. So I'm going to be picking out almost exclusively just 8 millimeter beads. Oh, wow. Well, hey, Allison, thank you. And I'm going to be weaving out of silver, titanium, copper, antique copper, and vintage bronze. So I'm going to be taking... This is how I beef up, like, mass inventory. Is I'm taking one of each bead color and putting them into the tray. And moving on to the next tray. What you saying? What you saying? Now these look like 9 millimeter, but I think that'll be all right. Oh, those ones are pretty too. They're just a nice little acrylic bead. Hey, Laura. Memphis was actually really good. So we're really looking forward to being back there in November again. 3. And this is also this method that I'm using to, oops. Because there are some of these colors that like I would never wear just because it's not my style. But it keeps me, or there might be some colors that I wouldn't wear it in that metal tone, but it pushes me out of my comfort zone and forces me kind of to make stuff that, you know, just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody else might not just be absolutely head over heels and love it. So, and also just so you guys can see, yeah, for MCFC. I'm really excited about MCFC this year because they're going to be in the Marriott, which is right over there by the Hilton Memphis.
The Marriott or the Marquis?
I don't know. I do not know. Okay, so here you can see our different bead sizes. I'm just coming through. Oh, I've got to reorder some of these, which is always fun, but also a little stressful. I don't think North Carolina is in our future this year, but there is always next year. Yeah, I'm straight up out of a soda light, so that's something I'm going to get more of. Oh, I already did that tray. Okay. Pull out these two.
Yes, MCFC will be in a different location this year because several reasons.
Yeah, MCFC just there was a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I'm really excited to be in the new venue. I love the convention. I love the guy who puts it on. He's a really great fellow. And every convention has their hiccups and their growing pains, and I don't hold it against the con at all. So this is definitely going to beef up our ring inventory. Ooh, super low on. Oh no! Well, I don't have enough of that one to do it and everything. Oh well. It is what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also a great way I've found to use up if I don't have like enough of a bead to do like a bunch. And have I done the? Nope, I haven't done that one yet.
I think it'll definitely be cheaper than the guest house was.
It should definitely be cheaper than the guest house, yeah. Okay, getting catch up on.
One of the questions is, can you sing?
Legally, I am no longer allowed to sing. Do it, love?
Yes, but you can no longer sing on live streams.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't feel like I'm particularly good at singing, but I really enjoy doing it. But legally, not allowed. So there's that. Okay, so gonna get this flipped back around again. Hopefully. Tripod. Nope. Should have done this before. Oh, crap. Hey, Randy. Could you help me out real quick? All of my pliers are still in the backpack.
Oh.
Could you get them for me?
That is troublesome.
That is troublesome. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. Lily asks, can you post a link to the hoops you hoop dance with? I got a cheap one, and it's probably me, but it's not easy to work with. I'm not able to post links right now, but I highly recommend hoops from Spiral Hoops. She has really great weighted and taped beginner hoops. I still, after all this time, really prefer a 36-inch hoop. It comes to like right above my belly button.
You smell it? Something on fire?
I don't know. No, but somebody's throwing up in the kitchen.
Yeah,
okay. No, I don't smell anything on fire. But can I have the rest of my pliers, or are those yours? Oh, okay. Oh, we're about to make a whole bunch of wire wrapped rings. Kimmy Sue says, now I see the purple in your hair. I should have sent a purple one. Aw, Kimmy, I love the ones that you sent. Sending you all the no debt vibes. My fiance and I are currently working on this. It is a process and takes a lot of planning and scheduling. Yeah, it's the hardest thing for me is long-term discipline, Amy, on that one. But with by the power of Randy, we will get through this. What kind of beads and where do you get them? I get a lot of my gemstone beads from eBay, and honestly, a lot of these are compliments of Jim. Tashers. Yeah, it's just, a day in the life. No, well, I do have a window or two open upstairs, so we might be smelling the neighbors. But I don't smell anything, like, because my allergies. He's going outside to see. No, it's not to the singing haters. It's, just Sony's been cracking down on copyright, to a lot of folks, and I'm like, I don't have time to deal with somebody trying to, squeeze money out of me. So I'm like, good luck. I'm missing my red nose pliers. Who threw up? Why are you throwing up again? I hope the cat's okay. I think it's Ember, because I gave her a bunch of catnip and she ate it all and now she's barfing. Sorry. Okay. So let's see. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's way too beautiful of a day for our house to burn down. I don't want it to be on fire. Okay, sorry. Trying to, I feel like your cat's laying on that tray and you don't know it. Oh no, I know it. You see all this? I know it. Somebody's laying on this tray. So that's 15. So then I'm going to come in and just grab the first one of my wire. I think I'm going to be wrapping in 18 gauge today, actually. I don't know, 20. I'm doing so much wrapping. I'll go ahead and do it in 20. What's up, babe?
Chickens in the front.
Again? Were there any more pliers in there? I'm missing my round nose. Ooh, my favorite color? Alyssa, that's probably like peacock tones, if that makes sense. I know that's not like a single color, but...
There's this.
What is this? I will need that also.
Unless you have pliers in this pocket.
I don't know. They're probably in a couple of pockets. I really hope I didn't lose them. Those were my favorites. 3. So I'm just cutting. I will be cutting 15 lengths of this wire. 4. And just for time's sake, because the thing is at our next event, I may only sell 1 or 2 of these rings. Oh, thank you, baby. That's perfect. I love you so much. I'm sorry the cat barfed. And I'm apologizing because I'm about to ask you to clean it.
I already have.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know what? That's fine.
Okay, so we got 5 made, or 5 cut. And for these ones, I am going to be using a grooved plastic mandrel at first, because it's a little bit more accommodating. So, hey, Randy. Oh, he's not in here. Could I ask you to do me a favor?
What's that?
Could you actually bring me the finger ring tray from the tackle box in the kitchen?
Sure.
That would be really helpful to me. So I'm just wrapping around. But yeah, that little groove in there just helps the bead stay in place. Coming around. Because I want to make sure that I'm not about to make, whatever, 60 rings in a style that we already have a ton of. So these are going to be those little, like, rosette rings. Just kind of building them up on the sides. Thank you, love. So this is our inventory tray of rings. So you can see we do not have a lot of them. Normally I get off at the 1 hour mark, but I think I'm going to go a little longer today. Oh, I see. These are the ones that we have a lot of. The little spiral nest ring style. Oh, I could do more of those wave rings. We'll definitely need more herringbone. And then we've got a couple in this style. Gosh, that's been a minute since we've made these, huh?
Mm-hmm. It just smells like burning here. Nowhere else in the house. Just here.
Because I'm hot.
Well, if we catch fire, you'll be the first.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. If I spontaneously combust, know that I loved all of you. Ooh, and then these bad boys. So, this cab's in the back just hanging out, or will you be making those into rings? I'm not certain yet, Erin, because I'm also going to be doing some, like, set in epoxy sculpt so that I can electroform them. And I was going to try doing some soft soldering for finger rings to wear to see how that holds up. Okay, yeah, I'm really glad I went ahead and tested this because that's a little bit too much wire for what I'm doing here. So I'm just coming through. And I make all of my rings pretty big, actually. I got this on Fire Mountain Gems or Amazon, I think. This one's probably about 10 years old, but super handy. But yeah, I make my rings large because it's easier to size them down. Masty, it's called a grooved ring mandrel. And it's just a plastic one. I also have some aluminum that are really great for finishing up the piece. Like if I had to invest in one over the other, I'd go with the aluminum or steel because they're about the same price. But you can do like hammering and all sorts of stuff on those, whereas the plastic is just kind of only really good for resizing. Though that groove does come in handy sometimes. Doing a little third. Well, hey, Kim. Well, I'm really glad you were able to pop in. I'm really glad, actually, to be getting some crafting done. I know that in some of the live streams, we don't even get to it nowadays. You know, and I'm actually going to do just a little finger width. A little bit more than a finger width. And then we're going to make a little spiral. Where do you get your ring sizers? Typically on Amazon or Fire Mountain Gems, Susan. But yeah, that way we can kind of just get in there. I haven't been able to find them for almost a year. I think I'm just going to have to count them as lost and get a new pair. But I had some super petite round nose pliers that were just perfect for doing tight little spirals like this. Like, I mean, perfect. So yeah, so there is, boom, a ring. So now I need to do that.
Am I like 1% or am I ultra instinct shaggy now?
59 more times is how many I need to make of that. Oh, I don't know, babe.
I'm only using 1% of my power.
Well, yeah. If he uses his full like power, then Frieza will come. Do you nerd? Hey, do you nerd? We caught you guys at BransonCon. We have some videos up with Yvonne and Spyro. We can drop some timestamps and links with your permission. Please do. I don't know if YouTube will let you because it's a live stream, but like, do it. Like, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Facebook, all that stuff. Like, y'all are such a joy. Where do you get your ring sizer? Susan, we get that on Amazon or Fire Mountain Gems. Abby, that's fantastic about the rehab center. So yes, that wasn't too much. I don't mind wasting this much wire. And it is enough that I could make little bead links if I needed to. Set that off to the side. Thread the next ring on. So yeah, I make most of my rings at a size 11 or 12. Right now I am using a 20 gauge wire from Parawire. Ooh, oh, I'll be sure to check that out, Steffies. So yeah, again, I really like I love this ring style because you could do however many rotations or however many few as what you like. I like to do a couple. It gives it like a nice organic look or something. I don't know. It makes me happy. And when you're crafting, if it doesn't make you happy or get your bills paid, what's the point? What colors do you gravitate towards? I really like vibrant gem tones and anything flashy. So like, I mean, amethyst, labradorite, lapis. I really love carnelian, but not to wear so much. I love rose quartz, but again, I don't really like wearing it as much because it just blends into my pink skin. But excuse me. Pardon me. Aaron says those cabs in the back. Oh, just hanging out, or they're made into rings. I think we had answered that. I think for now, just hanging out. Where do you get that? Jody, I'd got ring mandrel either from Fire Mountain Gems or Amazon. Right on. Nina says I made 27 earrings yesterday. Felt so amazing going headfirst into crafting like that. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
I've already answered those.
Yeah, well, I'm still catching up.
I gotcha. Crystal says, do you charge for the rings? I do. We'll be selling these out of the booth for $5. Though, honestly, I should probably be charging 10. But, meh. Like, I feel like I could get away with charging 10, but, I sell these a lot to, like, kids, you know? And, it just gives us a nice base price point. What is your favorite song? That's another one that's really difficult. A lot of it depends on what mood I'm in. I really enjoy Monsters and Men, like just as a group, like any of their songs. I really like Dirty Paws or Awake My Soul by Mumford and Son. That's one that's really been stuck in my head here lately. I really like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, like that band. Carousel is one of my favorites by them. I've cut the Tashers. The wire is about 18 inches long. But I don't know, there's music that when I'm in the mood for it, I love it. And whenever I'm not, I hate it. Like, with a passion. But yeah, I am just going to say I really do love Parawire for making rings. Because it does hold up really well even to like whenever if you leave your ring on when you're washing your hands or if the client has particularly acidic skin. Like I've had really good results with Parawire. Chrissy asks, why do I make my rings so big? I'll show you. Let me go ahead and get this one. Well, I can just do it on this one here. Now, whenever we're selling out of the booth, you know, I don't always have my materials with me to rewrap a ring, and there's only so much you can stretch a ring, but I'll often come in, let's see if we can get the camera to focus. I'll often come in on the sides and just do my pliers like that and twist it up, and then come in on the other side and twist it up. And then from here, this is why I do always bring a ring mandrel with me. And this is where the groove comes in really handy. I'll slide it on there to say that we need a size, 8. So now we'll stretch it back up to an 8. And then I'll just come in here, tuck that in a little bit more, tuck that side in a little bit more. And so now it's a size 8, which is just too small for me. And then on the grooved ones, you can take it and flip it over. But that's also why I charge very little for these is the band is just 2 wires. So I feel like I would not charge $20 for a ring like this. And so it fits a little bit snugger.
Oh boy.
What's up, love?
I just got the live notification.
Oh, really? Oh, that's something else. But yeah, so that's why I make my rings large, is because I can shrink it down, but I can't size them up when in the booth. And, oh! Cat in a box break. Cat out of a box break. Hey, Amber. Amber Kitty. I love you. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Mommy loves you. Even though you barf all over the kitchen floor. Please don't do that. Better out then, though, I suppose. Yeah, I love Parawire. It's just very durable. Even with all the stuff that I do, like you can see, even with those sharp bends and the stress that I put on it, there's no scraping, there's no flaking. Okay. Oh, catching up on. Okay. How do you feel about Power Shell? I usually get Power Shell that's been resin stabilized. That way it holds up a little bit better, but it's beautiful. And Jody, I sell them for $5, my rings. Do you work hard in your rings? Sonora, not typically, not whenever it's this style that we're going to be selling out of the booth. I'll usually work hard in it after I've sized it and sold it to someone. But I try to leave them nice and malleable up until they go home with somebody. Now, again, that's just for the adjustable ones. If it's a ring that, like, you know, it is going to be a set size, yeah, I go ahead and hammer it out and make sure that the shape is good and stuff. Ooh, right on, Musty. Francois asks, are you going to offer extra wire with the craft for wire wrapping? I would need a lot of extra because I never succeed on try 1, 2, 3, or 4. Francois, we don't, there's no way that we can currently do that specifically, like on a case-to-case basis, but we are working with Parawire to, we're going to be including much larger spools of wire in the craft along kits. In general, like maybe not every single spool, but we try to give you enough that there are some there's some leeway in there. But if you'd like, you could go ahead and purchase directly from Parawire for the rings or for the wire gauges that are in the craft along kits, is what I would recommend if you feel like you're going to be messing up a lot. Parawire is very expensive in Australia. Is there a similar wire? Possibly. I'm not too familiar. Because I imagine it'd be super expensive for them to ship over yonder as well. Zebra wire might do the trick for you if that's available in your region. But again, the depth of my ignorance is astounding, so I don't know. My hopes are, of course, that Parawire will be able to get big enough that maybe they'll be able to get some discounts or something for international shipping. I don't even know if that's a thing. Alyssa says, "Are you going live again today?" No. Once we're done here, I'll be logging off because I've got a lot of resin casting to do and just different things around the house. Randy's going to be making some coils. I did, Abigail. Thank you. Do you have any dogs? Asks Alyssa. I do. I have 2 puppers, Sam and Z. They are good boys. But yeah, so this is, it's my goal to finish up these rings today. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and then our stock of rings should be pretty well refurbished, at least on this one design, which is our best seller. Now, also, I don't really carry a lot of stuff like this on my Etsy. Because in oh, I hear you, kitty. Excuse me. In general, I try to offer really high quality work on Etsy, and not that this isn't high quality. It's just it's a much simpler design using very as little material as possible, and it's I sell it out of the booth so that people can feel like they can get something without breaking the bank. I know she's just gonna keep meowing. I hear you, love. Yeah. Oh, I think she caught some fishing line. Yeah, she's out hunting. Ooh, Jim asks garden update. I planted some spinach and there's chicken poop on everything. That's basically my garden update right now, Jim. Bye, Tracy. Oh, guys, she brought us. Oh, sorry. She brought us some fishing wire. Who's a good kitty? Ember, you're just the sweetest little bean. Did you know that? You're so grumpy, though. Why are you so grumpy all the time? Oh, you're mama's little girl. Okay. On that note, I am going to go pay attention to my cat and get back to work and just everything. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Be sure, yeah, beats a mouse for sure, Ida. Be sure to leave a comment on this video once the live stream is over and to put your name in the hat for Thursday's giveaway. And I will be seeing you guys right back here for Thursday's live stream. Right on. What is your favorite dog breed? A sweet one. Like, I'm not too picky about dog breeds. Bye, guys, and happy crafting.